What is up, amigos? Hope you're doing well. 1965 Indo-Pak War, a year that stands as a testament to the valor of India's air warriors. A story of unimaginable courage, self-sacrifice, and unyielding patriotism. But unfortunately, Skyforce, a film that promised to bring this legendary story to life, failed spectacularly to deliver. What should have been a cinematic tribute to real life heroes turns into an underwhelming, soulless product. If anything, this film is a glaring reminder of Bollywood's obsession with star power and PR hype over genuine storytelling. From the moment Skyforce was announced, expectations were sky high. A movie centered around India's first airstrike during the 1965 Indo-Pak War, featuring Squadron Leader Ajjamada Boppayya Devayya's legendary sacrifice, seemed like a story that couldn't go wrong. But this film somehow manages to botch almost everything. While the last 30 minutes touch on the real-life bravery of Devayya, the first 1.5 hours are a complete waste of time, filled with weak performances, unnecessary melodrama, and poorly written dialogues. This isn't just a case of a mediocre movie, it's an outright failure to respect the legacy of our heroes. And that's what makes it all the more frustrating. So the story of Skyforce centers on the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965 and India's first airstrike on Pakistan's Sargodha Air Base. The premise has all the ingredients for a gripping and emotional war drama. It's inspired by the heroics of Squadron Leader Ajjamada Boppayya Devayya, who went against orders, engaged in a dogfight with a far superior Pakistani aircraft, and ensured India's mission succeeded even at the cost of his own life. But here's the issue. The film completely fails to capture the essence of the story. Rather than focusing on Devayya's incredible courage or delving into the strategies behind the mission, Skyforce spends most of its runtime meandering through shallow character arcs, poorly scripted melodrama, and unnecessary subplots. Let's get straight to one of the film's biggest failures: the aerial combat scenes. How is it possible that Top Gun, made way back in 1986, delivered thrilling, edge-of-your-seat dogfights with limited technology, while Skyforce, released in 2025, struggles to create anything remotely close to that? The airstrike sequences are bland, uninspired, and lack any sense of urgency or danger. There's no adrenaline rush, no sense of scale, no immersion. For a movie about aerial warfare, this is unforgivable. The problem, it's not just about the execution, it's about the priorities. Most of the budget, I'm very sure, clearly went towards paying the star cast, leaving scraps for the actual production. This is what happens when Bollywood prioritizes faces over filmmaking. Instead of investing in cutting edge technology, proper research, or even experienced stunt teams, the film tries to rely on glossy packaging and star power. And the result? A film that feels like a missed opportunity from the start to the finish. Now let's talk about Akshay Kumar. When you're portraying a character like Wing Commander Kumar O Mahuja, you need to bring something new to the table. Something that captures the complexity and courage of a leader in the heat of war. Unfortunately, Akshay does none of that. His performance is exactly what we have seen in countless other films. A stoic, overly patriotic character with no emotional depth. There's no moment where you truly feel the weight of his responsibility or the fear of the mission. It's just bland. And for a story this important, bland simply doesn't cut it. Now onto the elephant in the room, Veer Pahariya. Let's be real here. His performance is flat as it gets. As Squadron Leader D. Krishna Vijaya, he's supposed to represent courage and determination, but his wooden acting and lack of screen presence make it impossible to connect with his character. And let's not ignore the obvious nepotism here. Veer Pahariya isn't in this film because of his talent. He's here because of his privileged background, coming from a wealthy, politically connected family and being an ex-boyfriend of Sara Ali Khan raises serious questions about why he was cast in the first place. Was Veer in this because of Sara or Sara in this because of Veer? Bollywood needs to stop treating its audience like fools. We can see through the nepotistic choices, and honestly, the industry needs to do better. And Sara Ali Khan's performance as Geeta is yet another disappointment. Her character has no real purpose in the story, and her acting feels detached and uninspired. It's almost as if she's just going through the motions. And I really want to know if she has a certain problem with her jaw, which seems so stiff while delivering her dialogues. It's like the jaw stays in one place and only the lips move, coming across as someone overly conscious of her face to always look long and not puffy. I'm sorry. It's okay, Sarah. We don't care about your looks much if you can act and deliver your dialogues well enough. Nimrat Kaur, on the other hand, is a great actor and has time and again proven that. But the script gives her almost nothing to work with. It's frustrating to see such a talented actor sidelined in a film that desperately needed strong performances. Maybe the real life story itself didn't have much scope for her role. The only part of Skyforce that hits the right emotional notes is the final 30 minutes. And that's not because of the filmmaking, it's because of the real life story of Squadron Leader Ajjamada Boppayya Devayya. This man's bravery during the 1965 war is the stuff of legends. Against impossible odds, he engaged in a dogfight in his Dassault Mystere with a much more advanced American aircraft Lockheed Starfighter and made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. The real-life story of Squadron Leader Devayya is powerful enough to hold an entire movie. He was awarded the Mahavir Chakra posthumously in 1988, over 2 decades after his sacrifice. The acknowledgement came after a Pakistani officer documented his bravery, highlighting the respect he earned even from the enemy. This is the kind of story that should have been front and center in Skyforce, a film like Sher Shah or Amran. Instead, it's relegated to the final act, and even then it feels rushed and incomplete. The film doesn't spend enough time exploring his motivations, his struggles, or the personal cost of his actions. This is a monumental disservice to a man who gave his life for the country. One of the most irritating things about Skyforce is the over-the-top PR campaign trying to sell it as some kind of a masterpiece. Veer Pahariya is being hailed as the next big thing, but after watching his performance, it's clear he has a long way to go. As in my previous video about Bollywood's obsession with stardom, Bollywood seems to be more interested in building star images than delivering quality cinema. This film is being pushed as a milestone in Indian military cinema, but when you compare it to something like a Uri the Surgical Strike, it doesn't even come close. Uri was made on a much smaller budget, yet it managed to deliver a far superior experience in terms of action, emotion, and storytelling. From a technical standpoint, Skyforce is deeply disappointing. The cinematography is uninspired, the CGI looks outdated, and the action sequences lack any real impact. The writing is equally weak, with poorly developed characters and dialogues that fail to resonate. The pacing is another major issue. The first 1.5 hours drag endlessly, filled with unnecessary scenes that add nothing to the story. By the time the film picks up in the last act, it's hard to stay invested. Even the music, which could have been a strong point, feel completely out of place in a war film. And while "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo" is a legendary song by Lata Mangeshkar and her voice seems magical, its inclusion here feels forced rather than heartfelt. Skyforce had everything going for it. A powerful real-life story, a massive budget, and an eager audience, but instead of delivering a heartfelt tribute to our air warriors, it gives us a shallow, forgettable film that fails on almost every level. This movie isn't just disappointing, it's disrespectful to the heroes it claims to honor. If you truly want to celebrate the bravery of Squadron Leader Devayya and India's air warriors, skip this film and read about their real stories instead. Those stories will inspire you far more than anything Skyforce has to offer. So if you've watched it already, do let me know what you thought of Skyforce. Did you feel it lived up to its potential, or were you as disappointed as I was? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like and share this video so more people can know the reality behind the hype. And please do subscribe to the channel. I see a lot of people watching. Thank you for it, but not subscribing. So please, my humble appeal to subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. This is Maddie signing off. Bye-bye.